Welcome to day 15 of Journey of Healing of the Soul. It's your boy, Journeyman Bell, aka Mr. 100, coming to you on the final devotion on the soul. As we've been dealing with the soul all week, talking about the elements of the soul, today we're going to talk about the importance of preserving your soul through your words. So as we go into Proverbs 21 and 23, it says, whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. Whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. Whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue. Notice how important it is that it talks about two different parts of this, because the Bible does talk about how the tongue is untamely and is unruly and it cannot be tamed. So it's saying keep your mouth and your tongue. The key to this whole thing is that keeping place. That keepeth deals with a guarding, it deals with a responsibility of all that is comprehended in other words, we're watching after, remembering that our words are as treasures. Think about that. Your words are treasures for your soul. Catch that. Your words are your treasures for your soul. So the things that you speak are a part of how well you value your conversation. The things that you speak are a part of what you value in conversation. So as you talk, shares what you value. How you speak determines the preservation of your soul, because as we deal with our soul places, this deals with our mind, our will, and our characteristics, that as we talk shows us the kind of individual we are. Catch that. The more you talk, the more you spend of your soul. The more you share, the more you share of your soul. The more that you distribute out, the more you distribute out from your soul, which is why when you get into arguments, you become weary, because you have spent out your words so much. You're exhausted. Your emotions, your will, your strength, your character is being altered by the things that you say. So as you begin to watch, keep guard, observe, notice that it deals with an observation place. That word "keep it" deals with an observation place. It's almost like the observation of the Sabbath day. How reverential, how referential, or reverence. How much we reverence the Sabbath day, and how we put it at the foreword of our mind that Sabbath day is coming. This is the day of rest, and all these things. And even as we deal with our holidays, we're very mindful of when Christmas comes. We're very mindful of when New Year is, when the Easter is coming, and these other holidays. So we are being in the observation of what's coming. But when it comes to our words, when it comes to our conversations, we're not as observant. I'm guilty of it all the time. Find myself in conversations that I probably should not have been in, and I know I'm not the only one that this has happened to, where you have found yourself in conversations that you knew you should not have been a part of. You knew that you should have walked away from, but somehow the mouth and the tongue got ahead of what was in the soul. So how does that affect the soul? How do what you say affects the soul? Because what you say comes from a soulless place. What you say has an implication and an imprint on how you feel on the inside. That's why it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So it's important for you to observe what you give out of your soul, because you are putting your soul in a place of consequential issues. You're running into some dangerous places when you don't watch your words. So as the Bible says that He said, whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue, keepeth his soul from trouble, from distress, uh, from conflict, from tightness or anguish, from adversity, or creates issues, creates anguish, it creates problems, it creates tribulations. Our mouth and our words, if we don't watch how to keep our mouth closed and learn that silence is also better, the Bible says that a fool utters everything that's on his mind, but a wise man is a silent one. If we don't learn how to refrain our mouth from things, then we're going to lose a lot of areas in our soul. Our soul is going to find many areas of disappointment. It's going to find many areas of depletion. It's going to find many areas of not at full strength. And I told you yesterday, a half-healed soul makes half-hearted decisions. When you keep your mouth, when you keep your tongue, you keep your soul. You preserve it, and you're teaching yourself how to distribute things from where they need to go to. This becomes better, a better life for you, because this life here that we live is only temporary. But we have to preserve what we say for where we're going. We have to preserve what we do for what we're saying. We have to preserve those areas of our life, and the only way we're going to do it, because we have to know this, let me say this real fast, is that our tongue, as the Bible says in James, is like it sets the course of nature. In other words, the things we say start to determine our direction on which we're going. So some things that you say to people can veer into a direction that you may not be ready to go for. Words open doors. They open your soul. They open your soul to connect. We talked about that as well on this week. They open your soul to connect to things when you begin to share what's coming from it. It's very important that you take a moment to really, especially when you get upset, when you get frustrated, when you get angry, take a moment and say, man, listen, if I say this, then I am running the risk of something great happening to me that I don't want to happen to me. I don't want this to occur. I need to keep it. I need to keep my soul. Remember this going forward, that the things you say put your soul in jeopardy. The things that you say put your soul in jeopardy. You can lose your strength of your soul by the things that you say. When you learn how to keep your mouth, when you learn how to keep your words, you are keeping your soul from trouble. This is why, thank you. This is why you have to be careful on what you say when you're going through things, because you are opening your soul up to be attacked more. You're opening your life, your will, your emotions, your character. You're allowing those passions in your life to be attacked more when you talk of a place that will open up that door for your soul to be attacked. You ever notice that in the Bible that when Job got attacked, that he said you can touch everything but his soul? Because he knew that if his soul got attacked, if his soul got affected, then he could lose Job. So it was important that he said you can touch his body, you can make him sick, you can do all these other things, but do not touch his soul. The Lord is the shepherd of our souls. He is governing our souls, our characters, our minds, our wills, our emotions, to ensure that we don't fall away and perish. Our souls are just that important to God. He values us just that much. He values you just that much. We have to know that. Therefore, saying, short message on today. What we keep from here and what we keep right here is keeping here, our soul. from troubles, keeping us from unnecessary things that could disrupt and affect ourselves emotionally. We need all of our soul. We need it healed. We need it complete. We need it restored. But we can't get it restored if we keep saying the wrong things. What you say shows your way. What you say shows your way. What you say shows your way. That's all I got to say on that on today, really. I mean, it's really just a short closure to this soul realm. I hope it's been a blessing to you, that we begin to watch what we say. Watch what we open ourselves up to in our words, in our conversations, so that the things that we say don't affect the things on which the direction in which we want to go in our life. The things we say affect our way. Y'all be blessed on today. Happy Saturday. Y'all feel like sharing, please share. Check out this on YouTube. You can go back and look at all of the devotionals on YouTube under Welcome to the Journey, and type in Journey of Healing of the Soul, the Mind, the Heart, and it should bring up any of the days that we have done so far. We are officially at the halfway mark of this journey. So y'all stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll talk to you all soon. Y'all be blessed.